In this video, you're going to finish code which will sort your table rows by name. So hopefully you managed to finish this function. So let's copy code from our example. So instead of person 1 and person 2, let's call these item 1 and item 2. I'm going to keep name 1 and name 2. And we are checking the property name instead of age. So let's apply this function to our items array. And let's console.log items. So let's check the results. Here we go. So you can see that our elements have been ordered, but this is not really the order we wanted. And that's because we've got some uppercase and some lowercase starting. So let's convert everything to uppercase. To ignore uppercase and lowercase. So let's try again. And now that's better. It's a quick comment, as you may have noticed, the sort method is destructive. So this means that we changed the array itself by using the sort method. So we didn't have to return a new array. Now you can also create another function which will sort the array in the descending order. So let's call it sort name down, which will take the array and then sort it. So a good way to do this is by sorting the array in the ascending order first and then reversing the array. And again, we're going to use the reverse method, which is also a destructive method, meaning that it's going to change the original array. So your array items is going to be reversed and you don't have to return anything here. Now let's test our code by logging the items array. And you can see that they are now sorted. Well, they are still sorted in the ascending order because we haven't applied the function yet to array or to items. So let's try this. And this looks better. So they are sorted in the descending order. All right, so now you will need to use this content, ordered content, to build your table body. So you're going to change the inner HTML or the HTML content of the table body using the ordered content. So to do that, let's create a function. So we're going to fill the table body with items. So let's create a function fill table body, which will take the items array and will build the HTML content of table body. So let's create a variable content. So what you want is the HTML property from each object. So if you want, you can try the map method to create a new array out of this one, taking only the HTML content. So for each element, we're going to return the HTML property like that. So for now, let's just console.log content to see what we've got. And let's call our function. I forgot to pass items inside the function, so let's try again. So here we go. So you can see that we've got a new array showing only the HTML content. So to build the final content, all you need to do is join the elements of the array. So we're going to add join right there, and the separator is going to be an empty string. We don't need any separator. So let's try again. And this time we get the right content to fill the table body. So let's change the HTML content of the table body. So let's select it using its tag, and let's use the HTML method of jQuery. So you can see that we have ordered our elements in the descending order. Now the next step is to add an event listener to the head of the table, or the headers of the table, so that if you click on a header, you reorder your table rows. Now, in order to do that, you will need to know what status we are in at the moment. So if they are already ordered in the descending order, then you want to switch to ascending. And if it's already in ascending, you need to switch to descending. So you're going to need to create an object where we're going to store the current status. So let's define that object at the top of our code. So let's delete this code. We don't need it anymore. And let's create our object right there. So I'm going to call it the order status. So let's call it source status, for example, instead of order. And here we're going to have the status for the name, the size, and the last modified, or time. So for now, we are interested in the name. And we're going to assume that at the beginning, there is no order. So we're going to write none. So the possible values, for example, could be none, up, or down. So even though in most cases, by default, you will get the elements ordered by name at the beginning. Because the server, when it takes or it gets you the different elements of a folder, then by default, you get the order in the ascending order, or the items in the ascending order by name. Now we're going to assume that that's not the case. So at the beginning, we will arrange the items or order them in ascending order by name if you click for the first time. Then if you click again, they're going to be ordered or sorted in the descending order. So let's add our event listeners right there. So let's start with the name header. So let's check the template and see the HTML content of the name header. So here it is. So let's give it an ID name, which we can use in the JavaScript code. Let's do the same thing for the size and for the last modified. going to call this one time. So let's access the element using its ID. Name, and add our event listener. So the event is going to be click, and our function is going to be as following. So we're going to check the current status or the current sort status for name. So if it is none or down, we're going to sort in the ascending order. And if it is up, we're going to order or sort in the descending order. So let's go ahead and code this. So if it is in these values, so none or down, then we're going to sort in ascending order. Otherwise, if it is equal to up, then we're going to sort in the descending order. So to sort in the ascending order, we call the function sort name up applied to items. And to sort in the descending order, we call sort name down. And after that, you fill the table body using the items array. Now, if you want to avoid having two functions for sorting, you can create only one function, sort name, and then you can add a parameter there, either up or down. And this will make your code better structured. So let's go ahead and do this. So we don't need to call those functions at that stage. So here, instead of sort name up, we're going to have sort name, taking two parameters. Let's call this one option. So by default, we're going to sort up in the ascending order. And if the option is set to down, then we are going to reverse at the end. And we can delete this one for now. All right, so let's test our code. So let's click on the name header. So at the beginning is going to be sorted. So if the sort status name is in one of these two values, so none or down, and we can do this by using the includes method of arrays. Like this. Then we are going to sort in the ascending order. And if this is matching up, then we're going to sort in the descending order. So to sort in ascending order, we're going to use sort name up of items, and in the descending, sort name down of items. And once you sort the items array, then you need to fill the table body like that. So let's delete these lines. So we don't need them at the moment. And also, to simplify our code, instead of having two functions for up and down, we can create only one function, sort name, and then use up and down as parameters in the function. So this will become sort name, which will take two parameters this time. So let's call the second parameter option. So first we're going to sort the array in the ascending order by default. And then if the option is set to down, then we're going to reverse the array at the end, like that. Now we are still missing something in this code. So if you order the elements by ascending order, you need to change the sort status of name. And that's going to become up. And similarly, if you sort in the descending order, then this should be reflected in the status, which is going to become down. So let's test our code. So at the beginning, that's the sorting we're getting. So this is at the moment none. If I click there, it's now sorted in the descending order. If I click again, so it's still sorted in the descending order. So let's check what's going on. So at the beginning, the status is none, meaning that if we click on the header, we should sort in the ascending order, right? For some reason, we sorted in the descending order instead. So the problem is right here in our code. Basically, what's happening here is that in this scenario, we sort in the ascending order, then we change the value of sort status.name. And then when we move to this line of code, this condition is verified because you have just changed that to up. So you have now allowed this code to run as well. So in all cases, you're going to sort in the descending order. So we're going to need to change this. Test our code this time and make sure that it works. So if I click on the name header, then I can see that now they are sorted in the ascending order. If I click again, they are now sorted in the descending order. If I click again, then it goes back to ascending. Alright, in the next video, we're going to add the up and down arrows.